That's our role model. The Prophet ﷺ has played games sometimes, or recreation. He has actually taken his spouse out in order to do certain things. Aisha radiallahu anha makes mention of the racing. Now, although this didn't happen every day, and it might not have been so regular, but it did happen. I mean, once in a while you're going on vacation, you can have a little bit of fun here and there. That is an ibadah. People think, why is this guy doing it? Especially when you're a sheikh, or especially when you're a religious person. But you should. In fact, the more religious you are, one of the characteristics is you become romantic with the right people. Notice the last words, the right people. Because when you're not religious and when you're not conscious of Allah, you are romantic, but with the wrong people. When you're conscious, you become romantic with the right people. And this love and affection is felt. And this connection is felt so deep. It's just amazing. So, this is the Prophet ﷺ. He raced with Aisha radiallahu anha. They were on the horses. Mention is made of how there was a time when one of his wives said, I don't want to ride on this horse because it's too slow. I need a fast horse. So he stopped the caravan and put her onto the fastest horse. And then, are you happy? Yes, now I'm very happy. Imagine you got 2 or 3 cars and your wife says, no, I want to go in the fastest car. Would you ever think that if the Prophet ﷺ was there, he would stop everything and say, okay, come, let's take you in the faster one. Why not? If that's what's going to make you happy, what are you losing? That doesn't mean he was not the Amir of the home. He was not the leader of the home. He was the leader. He called the shots. He made the decisions. But he always considered what was said. He protected his family, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He provided for them and they were happy with whatever he provided. You know what? Aisha radiallahu anha says something amazing. Because people think, oh, that's the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He was the best of creation, the most noble of all prophets of Allah. He is. But materially, there was a stage when the Prophet ﷺ didn't have that much. So, when we talk, some people say he didn't have much, some people say he had everything. Those were different stages in his life, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. But the Aisha radiallahu anha says, In kunna ala Muhammadin. You know what that means? Even though we were the family of the Prophet. So she's about to say something that you wouldn't have expected. Because she's saying, even though we were the family of the Prophet of Allah, we had no food in our home. We saw the moon, we saw another moon, we saw a third moon, which means 3 months in a row. And you know what? The only thing we had was at-tamr wal-ma, dates and water. Did they complain? The answer is no. Did they say, my husband can't provide, look at him, we're just eating dates and water? They were happy because you know what? There are days when you may not have and there are days when you will have. A man's test is when he has everything. And a woman's test is when he has nothing. Have you thought of that? Okay, that's not something Islamic, but it's just something from what we've seen on earth. A woman is tested. In fact, even from an Islamic perspective, a woman is tested when the husband doesn't have much or loses things. Then that's your test. Are you going to stay? You have a right beyond a certain point to ask out if really your rights are being affected. But if you're patient, perhaps that man might get so much more. You've had so many years of goodness. Now there will be years of a little time of tough, perhaps years. And then you'll have a lot of goodness again. Are you prepared to stay for a good man? For a good man? The answer should be, yes, I would. For a good man, I would. If he's not a good man, it's another thing.